Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Two-Headed Wolf Gaming channel, Last Epoch, and of course, this close combat spellcaster experiment, which I've been building up as I'm heading towards the end game for the very first time. And I'm quite excited for this episode. I've been farming around for a bunch of extra levels and looking for gear, and luckily, I actually found some pieces which seemed really good, and I'm actually looking forward to trying them out during this episode, just to see the modifiers. Hope you learn something from them, and hope I learn something from them as well. But either way, it's going to be super exciting just to see the new power level, comparing it to the last episode. So with this in mind, let's start with the least exciting stuff. First, I've been getting a lot of reputation, of course, for the faction that I picked, the Circle of Fortune, as I've been running maps or monoliths or whatever they are called. And as you can see now, I am getting 50% more likely to get exalted affixes on items that I find. So that's really cool. I'm going to start getting better and better items, and yeah, you can only be happy for that, right? I've also been picking these prophecies. Basically, as you are getting reputation, this favor here, you can go to the observatory for the Circle of Fortune, and you can get these quote-unquote missions where you have to do a certain thing. You have a condition to complete. For example, here the event is called Death of Majasa. The condition would be to go to the Chamber of Vessels, and the reward would be that you get 3 unique relics. So I've been getting a few of these missions. I haven't really been farming them, but I've tried to pick up things that might be important for me. For example, the deaths of siege golems here would give us 3 exalted rings, and I haven't gotten really that lucky on rings, but I'm trying to get as many of the pieces that I find to be important as possible. I like this one, the Invitation, which I've just picked up, the Depths of Amber Elemental, Lightless Arbor Dungeon, so I have to run the Lightless Arbor Dungeon, and then I would be getting a unique armor with 8 Weaver's Wheel. 8 Weaver's Wheel being the amount of modifiers that this armor can get when it gets experience. So when you equip an item like this, item will get experience, and they will throw on some random modifiers up to 8 times in this situation. 8 Weavers will. And it can turn out to be the super powerful weapons or armors if you are lucky. Overall, this is all there is to show there. As far as this filter goes, it has been going pretty good. There's only a few items which I haven't decided how to filter out just yet. For example, idols. I'm not getting the most powerful ones all the time. I still have to look through idols every once in a while, but overall this filter seems to have gone quite well for what I am looking for. If you want to see how I've done this, look in the previous episode. That's where you'll find all the information of how I built it up at the beginning of the episode. On the item side, let's get to it because this is really impressive. So I've been running with this one where I'm getting as the base spell damage plus 38. Then I'm getting 80% increased spell damage and 144 increased lightning damage. This has been really good for us for a long time. Then I found this one, which is better because it's giving us another plus 15 to spell damage as a flat rate. And then I'm getting 140% increased spell damage. Because of the many multipliers that I'm already running with as far as gear goes, getting that plus 15 to spell damage is really powerful. For example, if you take a look here, in Tempest Strike, we're doing 3,291 average damage. And if I throw this one in, we would be getting to 3,690. That's pretty impressive. But then I also found this. Just before I started recording, I found this unique scepter, and it actually seems like it's really cool. I'm getting plus 44 to spell damage, 90% increased spell lightning damage, 90% increased lightning spell critical strike chance, and that's really cool, plus 19 to spell lightning damage, plus 18% increased mana regeneration, and here is a partial downside where 100% of mana converted to ward when you reach full mana. So every time I'm reaching 100% of mana, my entire mana pool will be converted to ward, and thus I'm losing a bit of mana. But many times I found myself being at full mana without actually using it because this Gathering Storm attack has been quite powerful. Don't remember Gathering Storm, I'm using it as a melee trigger for actually casting Stormbolt, which now is at 3,251 damage. So that's why I'm saying it's a close combat spellcaster. I'm using melee attacks in order to trigger spells, and spells is what we're actually focusing on scaling. So I'm losing some of that mana. At times I'm running out of mana, but the damage will be worth it. For example, 3690 here for Tempest Strikes. If I throw this wand in, 4303. And as you can see, I've gained ward. I've lost all the mana there. I've got decent mana regeneration, so it's not all that bad. Still, with the ward retention being at 12%, I am losing that ward pretty fast. So in this situation, it's not necessarily a strength. It's a slight downside for the extra damage that we are getting. But I still feel it's worth it. Even on Gathering Storm, the melee attack is at 535, and with this one, it's at 954 estimated. So that is pretty good. On the secondary slot, I found two axes. This first one, Beast King, sounds like a really good weapon, especially if you are suffering, if you are going dual wield with this build and you are taking a lot of damage, you are dying quite often. This seems like a decent replacement for defense, because I am getting 35 melee physical damage, right? It's giving us a lot of melee damage and some bleeding. That is not super impressive, but we're getting 8% less damage taken if your minions have killed recently, and minions take 25% less damage if you killed recently. 8% can be a huge amount here in the endgame. Now, it might not be the best weapon in the world, but I thought I would show it off just to tell you that, hey, there is some way to mitigate damage if you're really looking forward to that without sacrificing too much damage. But then I also found this Tempest Mo. This is a bit better because it's giving us once again a lot of melee damage, melee lining damage. Sure, we're not a melee build, we don't care too much about that, but 13% lining penetration is great. The fact that we're getting some legendary potential is also awesome because we might want to mix it with an item which provides us with extra either spell lightning damage or things like that, you know, just the percentage of lightning damage being increased. And we're gonna try to get a really good modifier for it and hope for the best. Then we're getting plus 18 to melee lightning damage, plus 19 to spell lightning damage, minus 6 to totem mana cost, which is not the most important for us, but plus 6 to strength and attunement. That is very important for us. And when you summon a totem, you also summon 4 storm sprites around the totem. Overall, this is a great item for our build. We're moving here from 4,303 to 5,224 damage. And on this side, yeah, 954, it's not doing a lot for our melee damage because we don't have good skills. But once again, if we're looking at the bolt, Storm Bolt, we're moving from 3,360 to 3,440. So all in all, we've gotten ourselves a really good upgrade here. As far as armor goes, I found these two pieces of gear. The gloves I'm running with right now, it's not offering us too much. It's giving us, as you can see in comparison there, we're losing 32 mana. But other than that, there's not a whole lot there which really improves our build. Maybe the 17% reduced bonus damage taken from critical strikes from the enemy might be good. But getting a lot of these resistances is also pretty good, and plus 5 attunement would provide us with even more damage, and I like that a lot. Now, if I go and try to craft here, we could get a bit more physical and poison resistance, or I could get higher critical strike chance, or maybe even attunement. Now, let's see. If I was to look and compare, we are maximizing poison resistance, so I wouldn't want to push that any further at the moment. Neither do I want physical. But I could get some extra attunement just to get a bit more potential, right? This is the maximum we can craft it at, so this is good enough. The boots, these boots that I am running with right now, of course, have slightly more armor, but that doesn't matter too much because the boots which I want to equip, the ones which I have in the inventory, it also gives us 25% increased armor. Given how much flat armor we have, just throwing in these boots with the multiplier is giving us slightly more. Plus, once again, we can craft these boots. We can get a bit more flat armor, or we could try to throw in something like movement speed, right? Upgrade that one. Even throwing in a bit more attunement if we want more damage. But for now, what I would like to do is just throw in the extra armor. And let's try to get a bit more movement speed here. And given that we are still left with quite a bit of more forging potential, I'm going to go for the extra health. Luckily, we got 20 health there, and it kept the forging potential, allowing us to throw one more modifier on it, making it even better than before. So overall, this is better boots all around. We are now slightly tankier, and it's going to be really good for us. I still have plenty of gear, like these idols over here or these relics here, which aren't that impressive. I would really love to replace it with anything that we can find, but I haven't gotten that lucky. And as you can see here with the rings, once again, not the most impressive things in the world. They're actually decently bad, and I would really like to find something new. I found also, now we'll look at idols, and I'll show you what I found and what I'm going to replace. First of all, I found this one, but I don't know where to slot it in. 6% chance to cast Maelstrom every 5 seconds, so if you want to raise up those Maelstrom attacks, throw this in. It's a pretty good chance. I'm sure there are better ones out there, but there we go. It's not the most impressive one from everything that I have, so I decided not to throw it in, but I wanted to show it off since we're talking about the build. Isolated Ornate Herorot Idol of Ferocity. 29% less frequency of expending storm stacks. We've seen this sort of item last time, but this one has even less frequency of expending storm stacks, but we're getting plus 17 spell damage for storm bolts from plus 6. So that is going to make the storm bolts even more powerful. Increased aspect of Link's duration. That is not impressive for us. 34 increased spell damage if you have an active totem. That is actually giving us enough bonus to where this is not worth it anymore, that extra stacks. And I've been throwing a lot of this on. For example, once again here, 49% increased spell damage if you have an active totem, just so we can go from 5,493 here, if I put down a totem, to 5,970. So overall, I feel like everything here is going so much better. This build is starting to come to life in so many ways, super powerful. It feels very exciting to play and try out, and I would recommend that you do it as well. Let's start upgrading the build to some crazy levels. I am thinking at this moment with 9 passive skill points, we could do quite a few things. Some flat spell damage wouldn't be necessarily bad, but I think going for percentages and some for percentages might be better than anything else. Right? Let's get this one first. I'm going to throw in a bit more attunement here, just because it scales up all the skills that we're having. After that, increased lightning damage by 5% per point sounds pretty good to me. Maybe I'll maximize that, or I'll get another 2 flat there. 2 flat lightning damage. What else do we want to do? Mana regenerated with active totem could be good. We could get some armor. I am casting it now a bit more often than I used to, so maybe it's not necessarily bad to start investing into some of these directions. But probably let's just get like these multipliers. Where are we at with damage? 5,916. And if I put this down, 6,413. So that is a good upgrade. And then we're going to skills. And I'm going to go with this. This is what I've been looking. This is why I've been searching for axes. Because now I can pick over here Tempest Weapon. Gathering Storm deals additional spell damage for free melee damage on your equipped axe or mace. So if I throw this in, we're going from 5,900 to... Does it show? Oh, it's just on Gathering Storm. So it's probably here that we're doing about 3,870 on Stormbolt. Maybe it requires a bit more for that to activate, but there we have it. On the Tempest Strike, I guess we could go with what? This might be the most difficult decision because I'm not sure exactly what would be the best. Melee damage with axe or mace could give us a bit more strength. Probably Wind Fury Force is a good idea just to get that extra damage and area of effect whenever we're attacking. Mana gain on hit with no Tempest? No, we don't want. We want the Tempest to still activate. Attack speed and reduce mana cost could be great for us. I guess overall, let's just increase the area of effect so that when we're doing this attack, it's actually hitting more enemies. On Maelstrom side, we're getting windswept. At 6 or more stack, we're going to get haste, increasing our movement speed by 30%, which is going to help us clear maps faster. Then we're gonna go to summon Stormcrows here, and I'm going to get Wisdom of the Storm, so that every 10 seconds Stormcrows cast Wisdom of the Storm to its nearest ally, granting it Aspect of the Crow. Aspect of the Crow giving us extra spell lightning damage per stack. Now, we are getting it from either Stormcrows hitting enemies, 20% chance to get that, but now every 10 seconds we know that the Crows will cast it automatically, right? So that is great for us. I would have 2 more points. So I have 1 more point here, and at level 20, when I believe it's the maximum level for skills, for active skills, I think that probably if we have 2 more points, then maybe the best thing that we could do is either maximize the potential of this one. Stormcrows deal more damage per stack of shock on the target, so that could be really good. Or we could get a bit more shock chance. But I think more damage per target, right, per shock target is better because we're applying shock as well. And for this one here, getting increased crit chance might be the best way to go forward. I don't see anything else here that would be impressive for us. We could get extra frostbite stacks. That could be good, which is damage over time, right? Frostbite deals cold damage over time. Yeah, the first 30 stacks each increase chance to be frozen by 20%. We're not stacking enough there. Increased cold damage wouldn't matter for us. Hit damage while taken while frozen, 15%. We're not freezing enemies that often, so that doesn't matter too much. I am thinking that the best way forward here is either getting more area or more crit. I think more area is probably the best way to go. Since we're stunning enemies, if we stun them in a larger area, then that is great. Okay, well, this is the part of the build. I know it's always a long talk about what I'm doing and the choices that I'm doing, but I feel like it's important for people to, at least for this first series, to understand why I'm making or what I'm thinking about when I'm making certain choices. And before I jump into these boss battles, because I have cleared enough to go into this final step of the quests, let's try to run a map as well. We're gonna go for this one. It doesn't really matter. It's either way, it seems to be scaled up. Um, Somewhere it says that it is scaled up to your level or something like that. I'll show it when I see it. I haven't gotten used to the game that much. But either way, I'm loving this game. I feel it's pretty good.
Fighting me is foolish.
Just look at that. So this is what I've been running with so far. You can see that the mana is going down because of the one that I've been running. Now, it might not be the best. I'm really looking forward to crafting or finding some super legendary item or something like that, which replaces uniques, because so far I feel like uniques are very powerful. As far as the tankiness of the character goes, I'm losing health on a constant basis. I mean, it's not one of those characters which is necessarily like heavy on tankiness. It's not the way the character is built. It's mostly built on offensive and clearing enemies out before we actually reach them. But whenever I am in trouble, I can always stun enemies. I can do it a lot with Warcry. I'm getting some healing back as well. I am getting the Maelstroms, which damage enemies around us. As you can see, I'm getting the haste here as well from the stacks, and as long as I have 6 stacks, you can see the haste is constantly getting cast. So I can stay in that haste mode for a very long while. When we're gonna reach level 20, when we're getting the extra point here in... Let's see, we have a Ring of Frost, but doesn't seem like it's great for us. I'll take down this tower here first, so that we don't die while I'm showing this off. So when we're gonna get Frenzy here, we're gonna get increased attack speed and movement speed, which in turn gets also an increased chance because we're attacking faster. We're getting an increased chance to get Maelstrom by using Gathering Storm here because we have that upgrade as well. And I really feel like this turned out beautiful. Forest gear that I want to replace, the amulet is definitely something, even at the risk of losing some of the damage potential that we're having right now. Replacing this amulet would be precious, and replacing the rings and the relic here, it's one of those things where I'm feeling, should I start looking for certain bases, like just normal bases for crafting, or what should I be doing going forward, right? Because I've been left behind on certain item levels and it doesn't seem great. Right? It feels like I found all this cool stuff and they're compensating for how lackluster the rest of the gear is. And that is not necessarily a great feeling when you're trying to put together a build. There it is. As you can see, I'm going into the negatives. I like that the game, now I like it even more that the game can go in negative mana, even for a little bit. Because otherwise, I guess otherwise this one would be totally awful. You wouldn't want to go that much into the negative mana. Maybe only in the situation of a minion build, right? When you don't have to do a lot of work and you're just trying to maintain your ward up as much as possible. One of the ways in which you can prevent losing your entire mana would be to actually use your mana, right? Like use things like mana using attacks, and thus you will never get into the position where you will have your mana turn to ward. But that's it. That's pretty much the map. Everything goes fine. Now let's try to see if we can fight against some bosses and get something, also get something good out of it. Anything here? Nothing of value. Now let's see. Argentum's Spire. Defeat God Hunter Argentus and reclaim the lands of Heorot. Let's see. This is first trial. Never fought this boss before. Never fought, I'm guessing, what will be the following boss either. I've just been farming maps.
Oh, come for the lance, have you? Ha!
Okay.
You shall die trying.
I'll put down a totem now. I haven't put down totems in the last map, but
Me a god.
I should be getting a lot of extra damage from them, both in spells.
The lance's power is
Okay, the ravens are dying quite quickly, but it's okay. If they're getting the target practice for a while, then let's put down this totem again.
I will burn brighter than Raya.
Let's try to stun him. He did get stunned, tiny bit. Okay, we're getting some gathering storms there. I have to be a bit more careful rather than looking down. It is a boss battle after all.
This lance will make me.
But as far as tankiness goes, you can see I am doing totally fine for the moment. It's nothing really that I should be doing more here.
The lance's power.
As long as I have good resistances, I feel like everything is fine. 875 health, plus we're getting that little bit of ward. In this situation, when we are fighting on these maps, I think it's totally fine to have that ward, just because you're getting that extra hit, that extra potential hit for a few seconds. So at the cost of mana that I am not using, when I reach 100% mana, I'm thinking, well, I'm not using mana. If you ever reach 100%, then that means you are not efficiently using the mana. Do I have to do something here or just clear these mobs? I think I just have to clear these mobs.
Run, you worm.
Okay. like the birds turned invisible here. Yeah, okay, that's a bug.
Burn brighter than Raya himself.
Or maybe it's just invisible, but seems a bit weird.
What are you to a god? You
Let's
are nothing.
summon the ravens again here. Ooh, okay, that was bad.
Expanse will make me a god.
That happened very quickly there. So I don't think there's anything here, right? No, that's... Let's jump into it again. Let's try this one again. Don't know exactly. Could I have done something else there? Do I need reversal skills? Hoping that is not the case. But you never know with this stuff.
Oh, come for the lance, have you?
Let's try this again. We can do it.
Die trying.
I'll do a bit more damage. I'll focus a lot more on staying up close and personal
Lance
here.
will make me a god.
Good, 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 good.
The lance's power is exhilarating.
Okay, I'll put down another totem there. Okay, stun him. Let's do a lot of damage once again. Focusing. Good, 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 good. So far, so good. We're gonna continue fighting here.
You are nothing.
Summon back the crows. We'll bring another totem. We'll let them do their damage. I'm gonna try to stun him again. Now he's bringing in his minions. I'll put down another totem here just to distract them for a while. Remember, we are not really focused on totems, even though we are a shaman. But what the totem does is that it gives us 50% to our elemental resistance whenever we have it on the battlefield. And because of the idols that I have equipped, I'm getting extra damage whenever I have one of these totems on the battlefield.
The lance's
Okay,
power
he has
is
returned. This time he hasn't bugged out.
exhilarating.
Okay, I saw the attack this time at least. Run away! Ooh, that happens very quickly there. And it seems it happened even though the enemy is stunned, so that's why I got a bit overconfident, I think, last time.
What are you to a god? You are nothing.
Okay, doing that, I'm going to try to fight again
This
here.
lance will make me
Come on.
god.
Nice, stunned. I'll put down another totem.
The lance's power is exhilarating.
Okay, I stunned him again. He's going back to that skill.
Well, you worm.
And now he should be doing his circle thing, right? Yes, okay. I'm starting to learn the patterns. Let's be careful. Don't want to die like a dumbass.
To a god. You are nothing.
There we go.
You're just a human. A worm.
Amulet drop rate, increased bell drop rate, and increased shield drop rate. Okay, we want amulets more than anything, as I was saying earlier, so we'll stay with that. A bit of a modifier. Another relic. Okay, tell me something good. 4 health regeneration, 91% health regeneration, freeze rate multiplier, 12% health gain on freeze, and a bit of melee cold damage. Unfortunately, it's nothing good for us. This ring. 13 elemental damage, or elemental resistance, with legendary potential, 75% elemental resistance while channeling, Ward gain while channeling and 64% increased sliding damage. I mean, it does because it's giving us extra elemental resistance and lightning damage, but that is all. I'm losing 44% physical resistance just because of the crafts. Let's see, where would we land if we were to equip this? We would still be good on physical resistances. And I guess damage-wise, we would be getting a bit more, right? Yeah. Legendary potential could mean that I am getting something better, but I will keep this ring in the stash just in case. Okay. Anything else? This is a key for a dungeon, and let's see. Element resistance, no. 10% chance on melee kill to heal a random minion. Yeah, no, nope, 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 nope. Okay. Well, that is with this encounter. Let's do one more. Let's do one more boss battle, and then we'll call it a day. But this is how the build has been going so far, and I've been loving it, to be honest. I am going to try to push... I've seen that they have like these base levels, but I've also seen that these maps seem to be scaled up somehow. Haven't fully figured out the system. I think when we go to... Yeah, monolith completion. So this is what I'm really going for at the moment. I'm just trying to go through all of these and see what else we're getting. But what's important for us here, the Ruins of Solarum. Let's see. Rayek husks soars above the waning world like a black sun. Forestall, end. Play Rayek. Okay. Let's see what that's. Let's see what this is like. Either way, I'm happy with the build, and as soon as we can get some better gear here, I feel like we're gonna love it. It doesn't feel like it has any big weaknesses. It feels like a real potentially viable build for endgame without a worry. I don't know how far it can push into corruption or anything like that. I have nothing to compare it at the moment. Let's put down a totem. Let's avoid that one because I'm guessing it's gonna get hit. Ooh. 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 That was really bad for us. Oof. I've died a few more times on this boss, but I think I've got most of its patterns down. I feel like I should be able to take him down soon here. With a bit of luck, a bit of careful planning. One of my biggest mistakes, I think it's something which happens quite often or can happen quite often, where you're getting caught in doing damage rather than paying attention and moving away from the boss whenever it's doing his like super attacks and things like that, right? In this situation, you can get caught sitting near the boss to do a lot of damage rather than avoiding attacks. And at least for me in this situation, I don't think I have to hurry in any way, shape, or form just because of the amount of long range damage that I can do with different spells, right? Not perfect, but it can definitely happen, and I can definitely do a lot more. Good, a few hits in. Now let's try to step away and just see what else is coming in. Alright, I'll put down another one of these. He's doing the pathetic thing. Good. I'll do a walk right here, make sure we're stunning him. Good. Let's try to summon another raven. I'm good. In around.
This despair, oblivion burns within me. This world earned its ruin.
Hey, so far so good. I'll put down another totem there. Just barely escaped that one.
My shadow will cover this world once more.
Come on. Ooh. Yeah, some of those moments are pretty annoying. Doesn't give you a lot of time to think. Even with all the resistances that I have going on for me, it's not enough. And I'm getting stressed.
paint in ash.
Okay, run away.
This haste, this despair, oblivion burns within me.
Good, good, good. We
This
should be getting it
whirlwind,
pretty soon. Let's see. Is he doing his circle thing?
enjoy
Yep.
it.
He's doing it a lot faster now, so we should stay closer to him. Now he's doing his flyby.
Cover this world.
Not the best place to get caught with this, but
That's it.
I'm gonna stun him. I'm gonna try to get a few hits in here. Run away from that. Put down another totem here. Do a bit more damage. Get close.
My
And
vengeance will repay by
there we have it.
changes anything. This world
A nice win.
already dead.
33 health. Okay. 8 points. 1.8 spell damage, leech has health. Is that whenever I'm running? Mod explanation. Range 1.2 to 2. Huh. 40% increased critical strike chance. I don't know. I'm gonna take the healing. I'm not sure exactly how this... Power the Epoch. I'm not sure exactly how this goes, but if it's adding up to the build, that would be amazing. And what else do we have here? Idol of Frost, we don't care. Good. These gloves, atrophy, increase time rod duration, chance to slow, even more slow, damage against all resistance for damage over time. Okay, not for this build, but there we have it. So this is the character. This is the build at this point. Hope you have enjoyed it. I really like it. I like how it runs. There's definitely a lot more that I need to do here, especially for the relics, the rings, and of course the amulet. Let's not talk about the legendary potential, right, or anything like that for the rest of the weapons and armors here. But either way, so far, the choices that we've made, everything that we've built up so far, I feel it feels really strong, really powerful. I'm going to continue farming the next areas. So like I'm going to go here, here, and probably level up, try to get as close to, I don't know, 80? Maybe, I think I might stop around level 80, 90. I'm not even sure where the perfect moment to do that is, but I'm gonna continue farming with this character and we'll see at what point we can consider ourselves satisfied with it and move on to some different build because there are a few more which I have in mind. But until next time, I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like and I wish you all to have a wonderful day.